important to grow up. And as we grow up, we find the rules of growing up get more and more weird. You say, weird? Yeah, well, see, before you thought it was just being responsible. I go to my job, I make my money, ha ha ha. I don't rob, I don't murder, I don't rape, I don't pillage. I'm grown up. No, you're not. You just started. You just started. Now, something isn't right. Something's gnawing at me. Same thing that's always been gnawing at you. You don't know enough. It's a funny thing about knowledge. It ultimately leads to God. It ultimately leads to, quote, religion. Why? Because it's true. It can't lead anyplace else. And I say religion, I mean the true religion. I don't mean it ultimately leads to becoming a Baptist or becoming a Catholic or a Jew or a Muslim or any of those things. Ultimately, you realize, oh shit, there really is a God. The reason we may not have believed it before because it is a Walt Disney God, cartoon God, an unreal God that we've been taught about. This God that we've been taught about is totally unreasonable. This God we've been taught about in, quote, religions is unbelievable. You know, you say, that doesn't make sense. Well, the ways of God are not supposed to make sense. That's some fool who doesn't know. It's supposed to make flawless sense. What they're saying is there's a Walt Disney God out there who just arbitrarily says, well, shit, man, let me see. Let me fuck up old Joe over here. Joseph, why'd you do that? Well, my ways are not to be understood right now, young man. That's a fucking sadist, man. That's man shit. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's the way men see things. Men see things in terms of punishment. God sees things in ways of justice and thereby put the law of cause and effect into action. So you get back exactly what you put out. That's just. You created this God who would throw you in the fires of hell forever is a Walt Disney God. Cartoon God, fairy tale God. Sounds like a mean man to me. Doesn't sound like God. Sounds like a mean man. Sounds like something a man would want to do out of revenge. You know? That's what it smells like to me. So we're not talking about that kind of religious. That is so. Well, you know, if I have to hang out with a guy like that, I think I'd rather go to hell. You know, if I got to hang out with some dude who, man, I mean, you don't know what this guy might do. You know, he said, damn, kind of like hanging out with Al Capone. He might take a baseball bat at dinner and beat your brains out with it. I mean, that doesn't... So we're not talking that kind of religion. We're talking about... Ultimately, as you strive for truth, you begin to see. And all of a sudden, there is God. In its full glory, as it is, with not one drop of malice within its being. without anger, without hostility. Yeah, different kind of God, David.
It occurred to me earlier in the week that people have this image of this bad God. And so they've decided, well, hell, I'm going to hell anyway. And they have decided not to, I mean, as a whole, people want to be at peace inside.
Yes.
And they just, well, I can't, deal with this guy. He's kind of, I can't be that. So they decide, I'm going to do this other thing anyway, fuck it. And as a result of it, everything is warped.
Yes.
In a very distorted way.
And they have made up their minds towards something that's stupid, saying no, but they have not said, you just hold on, hang on to that. I'll be right back. I got to go check this out. See, even those people have made up their minds. You can make up your mind and say, that's crazy. Let me see what else is available.
Well, that's the thing, the statement help it. I mean,
right.
Everybody uses that. I work in a bar, it's like, well, we'll help it anyway. Let's have another one.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked, there's Great Balls of Fire, story of Jerry Lee Lewis. Well, Jerry Lee Lewis and Jimmy Swaggart are cousins. And they used to hang out together in the black section of town down here in that bad music and watching people. They call it Chocolate Town or somewhere. And right after Jerry Lee started going down in his popularity because he had married his 13-year-old cousin, Jimmy had him at the church, and Jimmy started preaching about Jerry Lee and how he was going to hell and all that, and Jerry Lee got up and walked out. He said, "God damn, preacher, if I'm going to hell, then I'm going to hell playing the piano," and walked out. Well, that's what he should have done. Because the only way you know, the only way you find it, is through searching through here. An outward action such as that is not going to send you to hell. Playing a piano and shaking your butt? Come on. What kind of God is this? Oh, you can't come to heaven, you shake your butt. You see, this is hell. Hell is being unable to do anything about it and just watch because of the conflict within yourself. That's hell. Being trapped by Seth, form. Being trapped, not being free to shake it or to not shake it, as the case may be.
Without feeling it
Yeah. But to express the joy of life and the joy of being and the joy of God being in flesh. You watch the cats. Watch a little cat. He's just so happy to be in life. He run, he climb up your shit. Wow, whoa, man, wee. He's expressing the joy of being alive, and that's what humankind should do. Now the problem becomes when we have gone past a point of this, and we're trying to carry it across that point. It is to be where we are. Yes. I am here. I do as I do. That doesn't mean that you do as I do. They're parts. It's like a society. A society is an organism. And that organism has its specialized parts, just as your body. Your liver does not try to be your heart. I am not your heart. I am your brain. I'm your consciousness. Now, the heart has got to beat, the liver's got to function, the kidneys have got to function, all this stuff in order to make this mechanism go. And every part must find its place and do its function totally and completely in order for the whole thing to happen. I'm not going to be the hands. That's not what I do. I'm not the feet. That's not what I do. It's nothing wrong with being the hands or the feet. There's nothing wrong with being any of it, because without any one part, the whole is screwed up. It's all equal. Remember the joke. Brain said, I run it. Heart said, I run it. Asshole says, I run it. Right? It shut down and it showed the rest of them, okay, boss, okay. But you see, without any of the rest of them, neither could it work. Had any of the others shut down, you see? So there are no unimportant parts. All parts function equally to make the whole go. So, I do not expect you to be as I. I expect you to be as you, and to show those things that are natural within you as I show those things that are natural within me. I teach. I design ways to teach. That's what I do. Present. Here. So-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Don't expect me to do other shit. That's not what I do. I'm here to do what I do. That function above all. As you will learn, as you get more and more clean about who you are, what you do. And you will do it flawlessly. And then everything works. Everything just goes rolls. We learn and we grow. But until we drop the personas and find out what our position is, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Well, it's called learning. It's called surrender. We're just so full of egoism as human beings. And even those of us who say, well, I'm not egotistical. I really don't have very much. That's egoism. That's egoism. Is it because you are so important that everything else in the world has to come after you? The devil comes after you. I listen to some of these people. Yeah, well, the devil is after our soul. You're real important, You're real important. How stupid. There's always something greater than me. Well, okay. I'll grant perhaps that is so. But you know what? When you meet it, you make damn sure that it is. You meet it, you say, all right, Zach, come on, put it up. And we find out. And when we first say, okay, you bad. All right. Okay. Now I know. This last Star Trek, when they went beyond something, somewhere into the somewhere, and they found God. And God is telling one of them, well, you got a starship out there. Yeah, I want to go so-and-so. And Kirk is going, excuse me, pardon me. What? Yeah, what? If you're God, what does God need with a rocket ship? See, you must ask the question. You understand? There may be, but I tell you what, I have not found it yet. I have found equality in everywhere I've ever been. It's just stuff together, Just stuff together. How can God be greater than itself? It can only be itself. It cannot be greater than itself, nor can it be less than itself. All cells in the great body of God. So, come on. Perhaps there is something. I have not been there yet. But you always have to say, excuse me. And if it is God, God does not mind. Why would it mind? How dare you ask me a question? I'm God. You tell them kiss your butt. Because that's a man. That's an egotistical man. go beyond what you think. You see, if you apply certain techniques, you will transcend or go beyond certain idea structures, then accept what you find once you have gone beyond it. But that is the only way. That, quote, superhuman effort is the only way. I watched the all-pro game, and I watched all the guys line up on one side of the ball except one guy over here for this kickoff. And the guy went to kick the ball like he was going to kick it over here, and he kicked with the other foot up in the air while the other guy is running down the sideline. The guy reached up with one hand. He's 2 inches away from the sideline, bats the ball down, dribbles it, picks it up, and keeps running. Dribbles a football. Now, that's real hard. See, because it's oblong. Dribble it, pick it up, run. The point of it is, you just focus on what it is that you need to do, and you extend yourself, and you are amazed at what happens. You can dribble a football. A guy can kick it so perfectly it's just like a pass. Nobody stopped to say, well, how am I going to do this? He just said, okay, boop, and it went. It's like shooting a basketball. You don't know how it goes in. If you just apply certain rules, it just does. But you must extend that effort. Michael Jordan doesn't know. He just does whatever it takes. He responds to whatever is there, and it comes out, and everybody goes, woo. Man. That is to put forth the effort in the proper way. It works. Everybody wants to know how. Tell me the principle. Well, the principle is there is no damn principle. Just do what you do, and it works if you apply the laws of what it is you want to achieve. If you apply opposite laws, opposite will happen. If you cannot admit your anger, hostility, insecurity, doubt, fear, if you can't see that and make the extended effort to go beyond it, first of all, you got to see it. Then you got to make the effort. You see it, say, well, yeah, I do that. Oh, well. No. If you can't do that, it'll never happen. If you can't go beyond it, it's not going to happen. The only way it happens is for you to exercise those things that are conducive to what it is you desire. Enough. Thank you. Namaste.